the Christian message, though, homosexual practice is not approved of, it doesn't mean that God doesn't love LGBTQ people. That's not the Christian message. In fact, the Christian message is, look, like, we all have things. Where did Jesus actually?
Doctor, hold that thought. Doctor, let her finish her thought, please.
Go ahead, Cameron. So the Christian message is that, look, it's not about calling out gay people or LGBTQ people. That's not it. Like, we are all on the same. We're all on the same slate here. Like, we all needed a savior to save us. We all have sin. We all, in our human nature, have things that Jesus needs to deal with. And so the notion that this is like the Christian faith somehow calls out LGBTQ people and condemns LGBTQ people, that's not it. Not it at all.
But you just said it was.
Where did Jesus call out? Where did Jesus say anything about the whole
condemning and tough love aspect?
And
when you said there's condemning, like, I thought it wasn't true, but it is true. It's the tough love that you need to hear.
Tough love and condemning are two different things.
I know, but those are the words you use.
I can tell you that, look, hey, this practice is wrong without hating you. Just because
and what if I thought your practices were wrong?
Doesn't mean that that's hate. Do you see what I'm saying?
No, not at all.
I think we all need to agree that
we're talking a little bit here about biphobia. I want to make it clear what biphobia means. Does that mean a person is scared of someone who is bisexual? A person is prejudiced against someone who is bisexual? What actually do we mean when we say biphobia, Lacey?
Well, the same way with people understand heterophobia, or like not heterophobia, sorry, homophobia, it's not a fear. Like, you're not afraid of gay people. You're not afraid of bisexual people, but you do have, like you said, a prejudice towards them, or like misconstrued notions about them, that you put these stereotypes on them that are negatively impacting the way you see bisexual people.
Can I just jump in real quickly? Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think that's very problematic. And I think it's problematic because you're assuming a state on somebody that they may not have. So just because someone disagrees with homosexual practice or whatever does not necessarily mean that they have misconceptions about people who may be homosexual. So that in itself, I think, is error in thinking as well. And
so you're saying just because someone doesn't agree or doesn't understand or doesn't mean that they have a phobia towards a specific...
Yeah. Exactly. It doesn't mean that they even necessarily have a misconception about the sexuality. That's not their preference, or they just don't agree with that practice. And I think that in itself even stunts healthy discourse on this issue, because we label people like that without really understanding where they're coming from. So just as you would call somebody else judgmental because of their disapproval of that practice, you yourself are actually being judgmental too by assuming that they have some kind of misconception or even some kind of hatred towards somebody just because they don't agree with their sexual practice.
Oh my Lord, I'm beginning to think that the whole world is peoplephobia. We all got peoplephobia, but we're going to come right back and continue to unpack this hefty topic tonight on the Tammy McAlee Show.
Because I think it's really, really important. So like the defenses that Cameron gave, if we heard that from white folks, we would challenge them on that and say, like, no, you are racist. And I get to call you and name you racist because your actions actually materially negatively impact my life. But when in our community, when we're talking about topics like bisexuality or homosexuality or being transgender, oftentimes people who are cisgender and who are heterosexual want to defend their prejudices as preferences, as though preferences aren't prejudicial, that preferences actually are prejudices. The issue is that when you tie your preference with power, you actually have the ability to participate in the oppression of other Black people, and that's what a lot of heterosexual folks and cisgender folks are doing.
I'm going to let Cameron respond, but I do want to say myself, I don't think that it's likened to racism in that way. When you say that people disagree with a certain lifestyle, people don't disagree with you being Black. People just don't like the fact that you're Black. But I think that people can disagree with a certain lifestyle or without not liking the person.
people do disagree with us being black. They disagree with the texture of our hair. They disagree with the tone of our skin. They disagree with our use of African American vernacular English. I'm
not sure that we can use the word disagree with that. But Cameron, go ahead.
They actually do disagree with it. They actually do disagree with it.
Yeah, so
that's part of what the discrimination is.
Right. So, Doctor, I understand what you're saying, but actually, I very much disagree with you. I understand what Tammy is saying here. So you said that, having preferences are actually having prejudices, and that to me that is just very intellectually dishonest, and it's intellectually dishonest because you yourself have preferences. But I would not say just because you have certain preferences that you're prejudiced. I mean, prejudice is a very strong word.
I have prejudices. I definitely have prejudices. I definitely have prejudices.
Well, then I guess
we all have. We all have prejudices.
Hold on, let me finish.
Mm-hmm.
If you admit that you have this about certain things, then fine. But just because somebody has a preference their preference doesn't make them hateful or devalue or see the other person as inferior. That's when you get into prejudices, and that's my problem with these kinds of conversations sometimes, because we're not allowed to. It's like we equate disagreement with hate, and that's just I equate it.
Hey, Fox, I want to get you.